that is the slippery slope when you start, putting these racial slurs in music today. Yes, the slippery slope. Women call themselves bitches now. So I'm like, all
Yeah.
right, bitch, you good? Bitch, you don't call me a bitch. Well, listen, this is what you're calling yourself. What are we doing here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
be conscious of what you're putting out there, because when it comes back, you can't be mad, because guess what? I'm repeating what you said. Whether I'm doing it genuinely or I'm doing it with malice, you don't know, because guess what? You put it out there. I'm just repeating what you said, brother.
Yeah.
So you have no dog in the fight when it comes to this.
Did you have to hit him with not the brother, but the brother? Did you?
Yeah, did it with the
Did you have to hit him with the hickey? Hey everyone, do you enjoy Double Toasted? Then put it on your body. Check out our tpublic.com merch store, where you'll find all these wonderful designs that look great on high quality t-shirts, with more designs coming soon. Or check out other high quality items such as mugs, pillows, tote bags, and more. Once again, that is tpublic.com, teepublic.com, or click the link in the description below. Want to talk about Kendrick Lamar? Real quick, Oz?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, people. Kendrick Lamar has a new album out. A lot of praise is being heaped upon it. That album is called Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. You can see Kendrick Lamar right here. Did he lock himself at the house?
What's going on here? Like he got them squatting there.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
He looking like a latchkey kid waiting for his mama to get home.
What's going on?
But I hear that the album is great, man. I've heard some of it. I haven't heard all of it. As you know, I've been traveling. And so being on a plane and all that kind of stuff, I don't have access to the internet. And when I got back, I'd catch up on a lot of things. So I was not able to hear the whole album. But what I've heard, I will tell you, and as a fan of hip hop, is really great to see someone putting in some thought into their meanings, into their lyrics, into their messages. This album is deep, man. And the production is great. Now, I'm not saying every album needs to be deep. I love all different kinds. I love albums that are just kind of a partying. I love albums that are for fun. I love albums that are silly. And hip hop is all that. Hip hop was founded on house parties and whatnot. And also hip hop was founded on people telling stories that people didn't see in these cities where it was coming from. And like I said, the production on this is great, man. The music production, I really admire. I would love to get an instrumental of some of this stuff, man, at least of what I've heard. What he's talking about is a lot of things, man. He's talking about spiritualism. I think he's talking about, his relationships, maybe his marriage, if I'm hearing the lyrics right, monogamy and all this kind of stuff, man. He's doing a lot of things that are just kind of bearing his soul in his music.
Right.
As a lot of great musicians do, man.
He didn't have a lot of publicity for this album. He just kind of put it out, right?
Yeah, that speaks to his name and his brand now, man. Kendrick Lamar can put something out, and the world is waiting for it. But there's one track that did catch my attention here for a particular reason, man. You got this one track called Auntie Diaries.
Okay.
And it's a song where he becomes an ally pretty much for the trans community. He tells a story about how his auntie or his auntie is now his uncle. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, there it is. And he's talking about how he had to pretty much had to accept that, pretty much be educated now on the life of trans people and be respectful to trans people, man. He's pretty much mature with the idea, of that. So I say that he's an ally. This is a pro-trans song. This is speaking. It sounds like, now, I don't know if this is true or not. What's in the song, but it sounds like he's speaking from some personal experience of self-revelation. I have not always been the most sensitive person to, that group. So and gay people in general.
Right.
That being said, speaking of his respect and understanding and education and revelation about the gay and trans community, some people don't like a certain word that he's using.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, some people don't like the certain word that he's using, and I thought that would be worth addressing for this because this is one of the songs I heard, and it got me thinking about my personal experiences with saying certain words, and so I'm gonna play this for you now, and when I do, I'm just gonna tell you the F word, and you know that the slur for gay people is being used a lot. Now, again, it's not being used to slander or hurt gay people or trans people. You know, in the song, it's meant to be to relay a message, to illustrate a point. But I'm going to play this for you, so I'm telling you this ahead of time, so you're not going to be insulted or hurt by it. Or if you want to just not listen for about, I don't know, a minute or so, and you want to come back after I play it, then fine, because I didn't bleep it out. So let's go ahead and take a look or listen to the end of Auntie Diaries.
To truly understand love, switch position. We can say it together, but only if you let a white girl say no.
So you can hear where he's addressing a certain thing that happened, man. We'll get into that in a little bit. But you heard the word being said. You heard the F word being dropped several times. Well, so I don't know if Oz heard it, but some of you out there probably caught this. So many others out there appreciated that he used the word, and they addressed how, it probably did upset some people. It's from the LA Times right here. They thought it was a bold way to address understanding the trans community, and this is a quote from here, from a trans fan from the LA, I believe it's from the LA Times. A lot of people have problems with Kendrick's use of the F slur here, but it's important to remember the narrative frame the song uses. This becomes incredibly relevant at the apex of the song. I looked over these lyrics countless times, and it's very clear that everything in this song is deliberate. It's an in-your-face retelling of the events that led a previously ignorant Kendrick Lamar to become understanding of LGBTQIA plus ABCD. Boy, they put that. They keep adding letters every year, don't they? I mean, that's cool. I'm down with it, but I mean, pretty much the whole goddamn alphabet's gonna be on there.
One thing to learn.
And plus some symbols and mathematics too, but
equations.
Plus people, and provoked him to fight for them. So somebody said, I stopped that cue. Yeah, man, I kind of ran out of breath too at that point. Ooh, y'all going without me. I'll catch up in a minute.
Yo, keep going.
All right, hey, y'all go ahead. And that plus side, I'll catch up with y'all in a little while. Y'all go on out me. But plus he's also he's addressing his ignorance with the trans community and talking about how I'm a better person now because I understand. He's also addressing his own hypocrisy that he did with which I did say that I didn't think that this was cool what he did at that concert where that girl came up. He called a white girl up to the stage, knowing good and well there's an N-word in the lyrics.
Oh yeah, played yourself with that one.
Yeah, he kind of set her up and ambushed her on that, man. I know he didn't mean to, but he did that, and it was a thing for a while. Boy, he was about to have that whole auditorium lynch that girl.
No justice, no peace.
Shit, if he had said get her, they would have ran on stage and tore her ass apart. Yeah, listen, this is before it was even getting to the point where we are right now with these words. A lot of people say, well, she should have known. Or a lot of people saying that he should have known. I say, okay, maybe both of them had a fault in this. I don't know, but I just know that why you gonna call a white girl up there? Out of all the people you could have called up to do this song, why you gonna call the whitest girl? Hey, bruh, I'm not cool enough, bruh. You know what? Why you gonna get Yeah.
That's why I blame him solely.
Yeah,
I blame him solely on that.
I do too.
I don't blame her. I don't blame her. I blame him solely.
My personal feelings, I don't blame her either. Why you call this white girl from Smallville up here?
Yeah.
To say this.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Especially at that point, you're at your show. I mean, you're pulling somebody out of the audience to do something. That's all on everything that I just said is on him doing it.
Yeah.
He ain't going on stage by herself. He put her up there. So that's on him, all of it, 100%.
And don't turn the audience against the girl. Girl, you know,
Don't do that.
I don't think that girl goes around probably doing. Fuck her. I don't know. I don't know that girl, but you know, listen, she's at his show. I would suspect that she don't have no malice towards anybody, and so I'm just saying, why you turn this whole auditorium against this girl, man? I didn't like it, but you know, what am I saying?
And again, man, that is the slippery slope when you start, you know, putting these racial slurs in music today. That's the slippery slope. You know, women call themselves bitches now. So I'm like, all right, bitch, you good? Bitch, you don't call me a bitch. Well, listen, this is what you're calling yourself. What are we doing here? You know what I mean? So be conscious of what you're putting out there, because when it comes back, you can't be mad, because guess what? I'm repeating what you said. Whether I'm doing it genuinely or I'm doing it with malice, you don't know, because guess what? You put it out there. I'm just repeating what you said, brother. Yeah. So you have no dog in the fight when it comes to this.
Did you have to hit him with not the brother, but the brother? Did you? Did you have to hit him with the hickey?
Everybody needed to get wet with that, brother.
Oh. Did you have to get cold in the middle of it? Did you have to?
lips just flapping.
Yeah, just bouncing, boy. Brother. No. So, you know, listen, after this, he did say, I understand, I can't put certain words out there and jump on this girl right here for doing the same thing. He realizes that. And Kendrick Lamar, you know, he's a young guy, and he was much younger when this was going on. So as everybody who is, you know, if you're smart, you know, he's learning from his experiences.
Exactly.
And he's kind of bearing his soul on this album saying that and growing with it. And I really appreciated that about this album, man. It seemed like a very honest album from what I've heard so far. Okay. But this does bring into question, with him using that F slur and saying the whole word in this song, it does bring the question, who gets to say what words in what context and who's getting the pass? Because look, there ain't no uproar with this. You know, there's no headlines saying, oh my God, Kendrick Lamar said what? You know, gay community has an F word for Kendrick Lamar. You know, it's for the record, I have no problem with him saying that word on the album. And I tell you why, because he's using it to make a point against being ignorant. And I'm mature enough to understand that. I'm mature enough to get that. But I think if other people had done the same thing, people be out there, you can't say that. How dare you? That is our word. You should not even utter that. You shouldn't even think that. If you are thinking that, run somewhere and then, you know, kill yourself. You know, I don't know, man. You know, people are getting really offended, man. And you know, that is hurtful. We don't do that anymore. You know, if someone had done something very similar to prove a point against ignorance, if I had done that, and I have, and honestly, I'll be honest with you completely, I have no regrets about doing it, because I did the same thing Kendrick Lamar did. I was proving a point. I was doing something to actually boldly say something against ignorance. And people got offended. I got some emails from people, how dare you say that? And I apologize, because it's not my, and listen, I'm humble enough to apologize, but I'm not being defiant when I say this. I apologize, but I don't agree with it. But I understand if it hurts you, and I don't want to hurt anybody. But if I had done the same thing he did, and I have, I would be getting those emails, man. Like I said, there's no uproar, by the way, for this. There's nobody getting mad over him using that F word. And why is that happening? Because I want to think about this. And I thought, why is nobody getting upset about this? And it goes to what I always said. It goes to saying that you've been marketed how to feel. You know, that's what happens with people. We don't understand how much we're being told to feel, how much we're going with the flow. Now, this is just my opinion. I think what the deal is with here is that it's Kendrick Lamar, and the album is being called brilliant. It's being called bold. You know, it's already got people just, you know, heaping praise on it. So I think, you know, when he used that word, that praise that's already being heaped on this album is also being heaped on him using that word and saying, oh, it's just a bold way to prove a point. Oh my God, he bravely and was in your face saying that to make you feel a certain way. You know, and I think that's part of the problem. You know, part of the deal. Maybe it's not a problem or whatever it is, but I think that's part of the deal with that. What do you think, guys?
I think Kendrick Lamar already came with the precedence of, hey, it's Kendrick Lamar. He is not a gangster rapper. He is a rapper that has lyrics that have meaning behind it. So he is almost like a conscious rapper. He's almost like a poet. So his lane that he is in right now is not akin to a 50 Cent. It's not akin to, somebody who would be deemed as a harsh rapper. So he's going to get the approval or the pass because of, who he has been set up to be, which is someone who when he rhymes, he has a message. So people are going to give him a pass and let him say what he has to say because it's coming from a place of insightfulness, a place of artistry, people are thinking. Yeah. And, that's why I think he's able to get away with these things because of the guys that he has come into the industry with. That's why he's able to get away with all those things. Yeah. And it's holding true because, when you hear what he's saying, he's not just saying shit to say shit. Everything has a meaning, what he's talking about, man. Yeah. Everything he's coming with has some sort of gravitas behind it, and speaking his truth. So, to say that he's using it to be cavalier, it's not him. Yeah. That's not what he set himself up to be. So that's what, I think.
Can we give other people that same respect who will use that word in the same way? Can we pull back on being that sensitive? Where we get mad when when we just hear the word without listening to it in context. Can we do that for everybody? Can we, and I know we can't. Listen, I'm not saying that I'm not saying that that people should run around rampantly using that word or any words or slurs. I'm not saying that we should give people a pass, but if it's used in the same kind of context as what Kendrick Lamar, then we shouldn't be ready to attack that person. At least listen to the context of what is in, man. Because I don't have a problem. I am an adult. I know I'm a smart person. I know when somebody's using that word or any word to make a point about something, and I can tell when people are using it in a way where they just want to say it. We do have to be careful about that. But as I said, we're going to let one person do it. Can we kind of let's not be hypocrites and just let one person slide and have a double standard for other people out there?
You know what I will say, though? I will say this. You're absolutely right, what you say. You can't let one person slide and the other person slide. We should have an open mind to do that. But I do like the fact that the trans and gay community, they are very diligent of making noise. Mm-hmm. Whether they will come back and relent, I like the fact that they are making noise to let people know, listen, it may be in context, but we're going to say something just to let you know that we watching and we listening. We may give this shit a pass, we may not, but we are making a stand. We are making noise. And I appreciate the fact that they are making noise. So if the next person wants to come and do this, they will think about it.
Yeah, everybody.
That's what I like. No, I do like that part.
Everybody should be vigilant because I'm not. Right. Everybody, because there was a time when everybody was talking about, now it's woke and all this kind of shit, but everybody was talking about political correctness. And I'm saying, listen, I've got a pretty open mind when it comes to humor and telling a joke, but everybody needs to be vigilant that you aren't doing something that just hurts somebody. If you got to look over your shoulder to tell a joke and because you know it's going to demean somebody, then you're probably doing something wrong. But if if you can tell a joke where you're using certain words to actually make a smart joke or do make a point, then fine. I don't have a problem with that. Of course not. Yeah, I don't have any. Like I said, man, as an adult, I can understand and appreciate context. I don't have a problem with anyone doing what Kendrick Lamar is doing. And like I said, we know when people are still in the boundaries and are being respectful, and we know when people aren't. And you are correct. Be vigilant, but let's not be overly sensitive.
That's my thing. Bring the same way the person brought it up, like they were reading the remarks. You know what I mean? It was a case where, listen, that person heard it, did the research on it, and realized, okay, you know what? It was in the right guidelines. Case closed, dudes. The case was brought up. You know what I mean? Yeah. They deliberated on it. Okay, we're good, everybody. It can be used. Next case. Again, it shouldn't be a case where, you can't let everything slide, right? Because everybody's going to try to jump on the bandwagon and do it who aren't going to be as sincere as Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying is like, if something is brought up, let's bring it up to a level. We had to go overboard. Let's bring let's raise the question and see where it sits. And if it sits fine, let it go.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's just, if it's somebody's out of line, put them in that place. Let them know.
Exactly.
If somebody, if we have somebody who, is it a poem? Is it a song? Is it a smart comedy bit? I can understand that, and let's not be the dude. I can't stand as a person who is a grown up. I can't stand when somebody's doing something like a poem or a song or a smart comedy bit where they feel like they gotta tiptoe around this shit. I understand where you're coming from. Like I said, we don't need to be in the office or workplace throwing this shit down like that, everything. But if it's, we know what it is right there, then let the art be the art. Let the bit be the bit, man. And if it's out of line, then call it, man. We don't have to be that triggered and sensitive about it.
Exactly.
And like people are saying, Kendrick Lamar is being bold. I want to see that boldness in other things sometimes. I don't always want to be tiptoeing around shit. I'm not a kid that needs to have naughty words protected from me. I know when it's bad and I know when it's used to effectiveness. But keep in mind, I still want to be respectful of people. I haven't forgot that.
No, you're right. And again, not everybody's gonna come to the same answer, to the question when it's being raised. But sensible people will understand what is appropriate and what is out of line. You know what I mean? I can only go by people who have judgment and sense to go with this stuff. You know what I mean? That's all I can do.
Because somebody asked a fair question. They said, how would you compare this to Dave Chappelle's, I guess the special where he's talking about trans people? I think it's kind of obvious, but I'll go ahead and say it. And it's a good question. I'll answer. Y'all know you don't mean any harm. But Dave Chappelle told trans jokes, and I found those funny. When he talked about that, I'll give you a specific example. When he said that ain't real pussy, that's impossible pussy. I'll be pussy. That ain't blood. That's beet juice. Hey, trans people ain't off limits from being made fun of.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. But when he went on a rant and complained, oftentimes falsely, about trans people, then that was ignorant to me. What Kendrick Lamar says, I'm enlightened. I'm respectful. Dave Chappelle did the opposite. Dave Chappelle did the fucking opposite of what Kendrick Lamar did. He said, you know what? Trans people made me mad, and now I'm taking it out on everybody. So it's like, hey, at least that's the way it appeared to me. So that's why, I think there's a difference. At least that's my point of view. And I ain't even mad at Dave Chappelle. I think he needs to Kendrick Lamar opened up about I did not understand, and now I do. And I admit that I didn't understand. Dave Chappelle has been pretty defiant about it. I just wish he would just come out and just be like, you know what, maybe I was out of line, or at least I thought about it. Even if he said, I don't 100% agree, but, maybe you had a point. But he's like, you're not listening to me. Like, I heard you. I did. Stop screaming. I heard you clear. Let's not confuse, because somebody said he was being edgy just like Kendrick. No. Kendrick was not trying to be edgy. Kendrick, I agree. It sounds kind of hipster, but I was like, all right, he was just using the word to like really boldly state a point. He wasn't going to dance around. He's going to use the word to like make you listen. And that's why I think a lot of people need to do. And some people need to quit being offended and just listen. But Dave Chappelle, that was a rant and almost like an attack. He said things that were not true. There was nothing enlightening about that. He was actually doing what a lot of people are doing right now. He was almost causing fear and aggression on these people because what he was saying was not real. It wasn't true. So there's no comparison. That's no edginess that we're talking about here. Edgy is where you are not afraid to say certain things to prove a point. Whether people like them or not, but you're not hurting people with it, except for the people that probably need to be hurt because those people are out of line and hurting other people themselves. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
No, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right. There's a time and place to say these things, and there should be some kind of context behind it. to help solidify whatever point you're trying to make. And hopefully it's a good point. Because if you're going to break out these slurs and these crazy racial epithets, you better have something good. Yeah. Your punchline better be good, player.
Hey, where the hoes at? I'm going to tell you, you don't have a leg to stand on here, man. I mean, we're talking. I'm not mad at you, but he's like, I'd do that way too. If he got, if I was getting all those death threats. Well, okay, so let's just say some black people sent death threats to some of these politicians. And then they came out and said, all you niggas are bad. Would you approve of that? You gonna blame a whole group? You just gonna get mad at everybody? So no, man. Listen, you enjoy who you enjoy. I ain't trying to take Dave away from you, man. You keep loving Dave all you want to. I'm not trying to say you shouldn't. I still like Dave Chappelle, but man, these comparisons, these general comparisons that you're making, man, they're not the same. I
gotta go back and listen. I gotta go back and listen to that his special again.
Yeah. I had a dude tell me one time, I'm not going to say what I did, but he felt offended. He felt upset about it. And he came and told me, he said, you made me really hate all black, he was a black people, a black man. And I had to tell him, I said, man, for whatever I did to you, I'm sorry. And, and I sincerely mean that. But this hate that you're talking about, you had that in you already, man. I did not, one black person to make you go out and just all of a sudden hate the whole black race. So I don't want to hear that shit, No, it's not the same, man. So yeah, I don't care who made him mad. He doesn't have the whole, I don't think that justifies him getting mad at a whole group. Anyway, we're talking about Kendrick Lamar, not Dave Chappelle. How we got on that?
Bring it back.
Yeah, so yeah, exactly. I'm sorry. Did not mean didn't mean to go into Dave country, but
yes, let the racism flow through you. Yes.
Yeah. Somebody said, I made one dude racist. How did I make that dude racist? That was the darkness was in him.
That's it. Let your racism flow through you.
Yeah, shit. The emperor was there in a goddamn robe and hood. Yes. Hate these Negroes. Let it flow. Yes. Yeah, I didn't do that, man. I did not do that. Somebody said, I drove way off in the Dave country. I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry about that, y'all. But anyway, yeah, man. The album I think is good. Give it a listen, man. Don't be offended by certain things that you hear if it's being proved, if it's being used to prove a point. And yeah, and let's all just understand context. I say that all the time. Let's understand context. But as Oz brilliantly said, hey, man, that doesn't mean that we don't sit back and just, let people just do what they want to do. Let's be vigilant. So,
Very much so.
Yeah, so there you go, people. Hey, everyone, support our Patreon, which helps us to continue bringing you our live streams, videos, and podcasts while bringing you new content such as exclusive live streams and animated shorts.